Hello, hello. So, my name is Parrish. I'm a student researcher for the Research and Innovation program. So we have this sweet little podcast here. We're mostly just getting some responses from industry professionals and students, different faculty members from our school here today. So I actually have some questions for you. So what brings you guys to St. Clair today?
I'm touring the campus because I'm a grade 11 student and looking
Wonderful.
into some programs here.
That's awesome. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Natalie.
Oh, wonderful. And what's your name?
I'm Madison.
Madison?
I'm Colin.
Colin, wonderful. Madison, what brings you to St. Clair today?
I'm touring with my sister here.
Wonderful.
I'm a University of Windsor student, though, in the acting program.
Acting, very cool.
I'm just here.
And are you a part of any education? Are you working?
I am in my second
Hanging
year
out?
at Fanshawe College.
Oh,
For
wonderful.
film and TV.
Ooh, very interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. So, how did you guys get here today? Did you walk? Did you drive a personal use car? Or maybe did you use some of our wonderful Windsor Essex public transportation?
My family and I drove up here this morning
Nice.
from the Toronto area.
Oh,
and
interesting.
Picked up
Drive.
Madison and Colin.
Nice. So, are you from out of town, out of the Windsor Essex area?
Yes.
Oh,
we're
but
all,
I
wonderful.
we're
have
all
a,
from Burlington.
I have
Oh,
a little
wonderful.
apartment down by the university.
Oh, nice. So you live within walking distance. That's lovely. So we are here at the Innovation and Research and Innovation program. I always want to say innovation first because I'm just so excited about innovation. I just want to innovate so badly. So what we do, I think you saw some of our beautiful 3D printed technologies, but we do a lot of different things in the community. Do you guys have any? If you decided that you wanted to make change in your community, what would you guys decide to do? And it can be selfish too. You can be like, there needs to be more TVs in every, like, you can be selfish. It's okay.
Personally, being in the arts, I think the arts are very important.
Yeah.
So I think just more representation. I like doing a lot of site-specific shows, educational. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say more money into the arts as well. You
Yeah.
stole it from me.
More money into the arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'd say also like more advertisement for the arts.
Interesting.
Like all arts, music, visual, theater, all of it.
Very cool. And you said that you are a potential St. Clair student. So what kind of programs what really enticed you to come to St. Clair today?
They had a kind of like college little event happening near my school, and their musical theater program looked really interesting, so I wanted to come check it out.
Yeah, the musical theater program is very cool. They used to be in a class right next to me on like Monday mornings, and so I would be doing like taking notes, and then I'd hear in the
Yeah.
background like, "Mommy made my mashed-mam," and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Yeah, so they have I've heard it firsthand, so I know they have a wonderful program.
Yeah.
So thank you. If you guys had all the money in the world, what would you do with it? All the money to do anything you want, academically, personally.
Personally, I would like to travel,
Ooh, very nice.
just like all around, see a bunch of fun sites.
That's very cool.
I feel like I'd do something education-based.
Education based. That's very
Yeah.
good.
That's kind of boring. I would, well, I'd retire my family, but then I'd buy a bunch of cool cars.
Yeah.
And I'd also buy my dad a bunch of cool cars. And then I would also travel.
That's a good one.
Okay, I'm going to jump on. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So my name's Dr. Dhillon, and I direct research and innovation across St. Clair College. And so it's really interesting that you talk about the arts and creativity and innovation. That's something that we always try to instill in the work that we do. We actually have a National Post article on creativity, which I think you might find of interest. So do look it up, but we do have a copy there for you guys to take away. So in
Thank you.
before I talk about the programs here, just thinking about creativity outside of the framework of programs, right? So as individuals, before you even enter an educational institution, how are you creating? How are you working through the means that you have, the opportunities that you have, about really harnessing a lot of the creative skills that you have? And so often, I'll give you an example. As a creative, often I think of it as action and activism. I do that a lot in my writing. I also do a lot of cycling. So when I'm cycling, I think and I write rather than writing with a pen and paper. And so sometimes those muses become pieces of text, and then they may become visual representative pieces of my thoughts. How are you thinking about art, creativity in your day-to-day lives outside of the framework of education itself? So if you go first, and then you can pass on the virtual mic to the next person.
Well, I think the cool thing about art is that it's all around us and you don't even realize it. So, just like being able to see things and kind of like just experience like art that you wouldn't even like think about is pretty interesting.
I would agree. Art is an everyday life, and I think it's like really fun to people watch sometimes and like see where performance can be reflected within everyday life and how like society as is performative. So it's quite interesting to draw the parallels.
I'll just like have like visions in my head for like films and stuff, just because I'm in film. But I'll have like shots or lighting setups in my mind based on what I'll see other people doing, or like thoughts that I'll have in my head, and I'll be like, how can I apply that to a character or a story? And then I'll like just make mental notes. Sometimes I'll write it down in my notes app, but yeah.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of it's what we call an in-between space, something that we maybe imagine, and Disney does that really well, right? When we think about a lot of the things that come out of a Disney vision board. So often I talk about it as something that's awaiting structure, right? This idea that we're either people watching or we're listening to stories. We're so immersed in nature. Nature is a wonderful a segment or a pathway for us to imagine colors when we think about the changing of the seasons and various other things that are happening, and what those vision boards look like. So in a space of about a minute, we've probably shared different types of ways we create vision boards, right? Whether they're through film, whether they're through performance, or whether they're just awaiting structure, right? So then when we think about that, how are we harnessing that experience, that passion, and then putting it into a opportunity? So when you come to an educational institute, what are you doing? What's the first thing you do? You marry what you're experiencing, what we call embodiment, into a program. So something, maybe it's a catchword, maybe it's the way something is described in a catalogue, or it's word of mouth or social media. How are you accessing and understanding which programs to be part of? Because we may find creativity and performance and filmmaking in every facet of these programs and projects, right? All we're doing is we're distilling a course, and we're making something from it. So how are you then marrying the two together? Is it something that you're imagining as a future because you want to work in that field? You need to earn money because everybody needs to be earning money, right? So I'm just trying to figure out, what does that pathway look like for you? So let's do that domino effect.
Yeah, I would say like definitely every day just seeing performances, especially because I'm already in theater. Like I think that really kind of like inspires me, and just like going everywhere and seeing how much art is needed in the world when people don't even realize it really inspires me to kind of continue with that and um, do an education in that.
And so when you're actually looking at a course outline at St. Clair College, what are you drawn to? Which types of courses are you drawn to?
Um, I'm really drawn to stuff that's like teamwork, group work, um, experience, a lot of like hands-on learning. Um, and so obviously when we're like going to things like the open houses, it's really interesting to see the different courses they offer and how the people who run the courses interact with you. And that can really like change my opinion, at least. Like if they're more open about it and they know more about their program, then obviously I'm going to feel more confident going into that program.
Okay.
I would agree. I think ensemble based work is something that I'm also really big on, especially being in the arts. That when you see the teamwork and how people work together in the community and like supporting one another, it really is a good factor that makes you want to attend.
Yeah, I feel like trailing off of what Natalie said, it's like the classroom of a space will like tell a lot about the program. Like especially when we were looking at like the culinary one today, it's like if the classroom is just like a lecture hall and you're taking a course on like cooking or musical theater, it's like well those kinds of things should be more hands-on based. So it's cool to kind of see that, and I feel like that's why open houses are so important because you can kind of infer that right away.
And so, when we think about that onward journey, what are you? If somebody said to you, what would you like to be doing in the next 5 years, and in between? And even if 5 years is too far down the road, maybe in the next year or two, how are you using your creative expression to support your well-being and the well-being of community? What kind of platforms are you using to be able to share your portfolios or to share your voice?
Well, for me, at least like the next year is going to be my final year in high school. So, kind of um, using that year to really express everything, finish off high school with a strong year, um, and then using like platforms to reach out to people, kind of like make connections and get my name out there, and especially when it comes to open houses and you're meeting teachers and you're meeting students and you really want to get your name out there and show them what you can do even though you haven't even auditioned for them yet, and really just like making sure you are presenting yourself in the best way possible so that they remember you is really important.
Yeah, I would agree. Making a like first impressions are very strong and making the connections. I also like to be like a sponge, like soak everything in, take every opportunity that is possible or comes to me or that I can go for. So I think I really would like to go into more film. I'd love to aim for Stratford as an end goal in my career. Um, as well as just like I've been very lucky throughout my life that I've been able to participate in like all aspects of the arts, whether it's backstage or on stage. So just continuing to make myself a more rounded person and just better myself overall.
Yeah. In terms of like 5-year plan, like I am in film right now because I want to go into visual effects, and there's a lot of job opportunities for that right now, and that's like big on like creativity and stuff like that. So it kind of lets you like I don't know. I'm trying to do one more year of education after this one, and then I'll try to go into the workforce. But Maddie and I also have a really good job at a venue that we have at home, which is really fun to work at. So it would be nice to work there for a couple of years and then kind of sort out what we want to do. But yeah, and networking is like so easy now with social media. Like especially from the film perspective, like finding actors, like I don't necessarily it seems like they all like know each other. So if I know one, you can easily just like trail and find another person that you've seen in some random film somewhere. So it's very easy to network in that sense. And then also like with TikTok and stuff, it's very easy to put your work out there and let lots of people see it, which is really helpful.
And to that point, when we think about social media and socials and how powerful they are, from YouTube to Instagram to TikTok and getting your stories out there, we can kind of close with just this. And it doesn't have to be perfect, so don't panic. But how do you define creativity? Because often things are defined for us, and I always find, me just talking on a personal note, that creative action, and the way I understand and create things on a daily basis, whether I'm writing grants or I'm working on a documentary or something in between when I'm writing an academic paper. How is creativity defined through your lens? And that might change in the next few years. And it'd be really interesting when you listen back to this podcast in a year time, you may have a different definition altogether. And feel free to come back to us. We can do like a virtual podcast and see where you're on these journeys, because it's all part of storytelling, right? And this interaction is really important to us here at Research and Innovation. So you have an open invitation to come back and share your life journey as you go through it. But so creativity, how do you define it?
Personally, I would say creativity is really anything you want it to be, because, like, no matter what you're doing, if you're writing, if you're performing, if you're directing, like, anything you do, it's creative because it's personal. So creativity for me is like anything you do that's has your own personal touch, that you're not just copying a rubric. You're kind of like making stuff up making stuff up as you go and experimenting and letting it fail sometimes and trying again and just kind of going with it and seeing where it will take you.
Yeah. um, I agree. I think it's just a way of expressing yourself. It's very personal. Um, yeah, you worded it very well. I don't really know how much more I can add.
Fair. For me, like I don't think that like creativity can be said with any other word but like passion. Like I feel like forced creativity is something that we like explore on our own, like in the industry that I'm hoping to go into, and it's so hard to like force something you're not passionate about. And I feel like every single like great movie, great idea, great play, great performance, like there has to be some level of passion in it, or else it just doesn't like it just won't work. Otherwise, you have to have that sense of passion, because otherwise your brain will just shut down and not want to do it. So.
And just a follow-on question, because I did say that was the last one, but I'm just more curious. How can education or educational establishments like St. Clair College harness that creativity outside of the framework of just these individual courses? What makes you feel and understand that St. Clair College, amongst other colleges, and we have a close relationship with our sister colleges like Fanshawe and obviously University of Windsor. How can we as a community of educators really amplify the notion or the understanding of creativity in our community outside of just the framework of you've got to get an education to get a job?
I think the great part about so many like secondary educations is that there's so many options for someone to go into, that it's not just like, oh, you can go into math or English or science and that's it. It's like there's so many different aspects with it that you really get to experience new things and learn new things that you don't learn when you're in high school, because high school they just want to teach you the basics, where it's like, personally for me, going into musical theater, I can't, like, I'm very excited to learn new things that I have never been taught before, because they're just trying to teach me all the basics. So it's really like opening up more opportunity for creativity by learning these new aspects that I can use.
Yeah, I think it's all about like adding to your toolkit, your personal toolkit, and especially like entering your adult life, like really learning how you operate and how you express yourself and function in today's society.
Yeah, I feel like the best thing that like any college university can do is just like when it comes to creativity and stuff, it's like everyone has something that they want to do, like whether it's a film idea that they've had, whether it's a monologue that they've wanted to perform, or a show that they've wanted to do. Like everyone has something that they want to do. So letting students do that and explore it themselves and learn like the hard parts and learn the easy parts, like that's really important, because if you give people assignments with too many constraints and it's like, well, it has to be under this time, it has to include this, it has to have this, like they're just going to stick to that, and then they're not going to be able to explore really what they want to do. So giving the equipment is an obvious one, because then they can actually do what they want to do. But then also, yeah, when it comes to like lectures and teaching, like giving them the tools that they can need to succeed with their idea, because then they can actually apply that to what they've wanted to do for forever.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing. Now, is there any kind of other thoughts or any questions for me before we close out?
I don't think so.
So
I'm
thank
still
you for your
waking up, I
time.
feel
Yes, thank
like.
you
Yeah,
so
well, thank
much.
you. It's been fun, and that invitation is open if you want to jump on a virtual call wherever you are.
Yeah.
Next year, maybe we could circle back and ask if the question is relevant again, because you'll have a year's experience under your belt. And good luck. We need many more folks like you out in the world, thinking about creativity outside its framed sort of persona or boxes, and to continue to do the work, especially if you're in this region. And if you're joining St. Clair College, come and see us at Research and Innovation. We write a bunch of grants for documentaries and do a lot of creative work to help support projects and programs across all our campuses. So we're always looking for creative folks.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.